What if the strongest thing you've done this year is something no one else can see? Maybe you've become quieter. Maybe you've stopped saying yes to everything. Maybe you've started protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. And suddenly people have questions. Why don't you come around anymore? Why are you so different? What's wrong with you? You feel that familiar pressure to explain yourself, to make sure no one misunderstands you, to prove you're not being rude, cold, or selfish. But here's something I hope you remember today. You don't have to explain your healing. Healing isn't a performance. It isn't something you owe the world updates on. It's a quiet conversation between who you were and who you're becoming. Many of us were taught that being a good person meant always being available, always helping, always understanding, always putting ourselves last. So when healing teaches us to set boundaries, it feels wrong at first. Not because it is wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. The old version of you believed love had to be earned. The healing version of you is slowly realizing that love should never cost your peace. That shift can confuse people, especially the ones who only knew the version of you that never said no. Healing often looks ordinary. It looks like going to bed earlier instead of answering every message. It looks like canceling plans because your mind needs quiet. It looks like walking away from conversations that leave you feeling smaller. From the outside, these choices don't seem dramatic, but inside they're changing everything. Every healthy choice is teaching your nervous system that it no longer has to live in survival mode. That's real progress, even if no one applauds it. Sometimes people will say you've changed. They're right. You have. You're becoming someone who listens to your own needs instead of everyone else's expectations, and that's something to be proud of. The hardest part is dealing with guilt, because guilt has a way of making healthy choices feel selfish. You start writing long explanations. You overthink every boundary. You wonder if you've hurt someone just because you finally chose yourself. But not every uncomfortable feeling means you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it simply means you're breaking an old pattern, a pattern that kept everyone else comfortable while quietly exhausting you. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need a perfect excuse to rest. You don't need everyone to understand why you're growing. Some people won't understand because your healing changes how they can access you. They may miss the version of you who never had limits, but that doesn't mean you should become that person again. The people who truly care about you won't expect you to abandon yourself just to make them comfortable. They may not understand every step of your journey, but they will respect it. And if someone demands an explanation for every boundary you set, ask yourself this: are they trying to understand you, or are they trying to convince you to go back to who you used to be? There's a big difference. Healing isn't about becoming harder. It's about becoming more honest. Honest about what hurts. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what brings you peace. That honesty may make your world smaller for a while, but it also makes your relationships more real. The people who stay won't love a version of you that's pretending. They'll love the person who's finally showing up as themselves. So if your journey has become quieter, if you've stopped explaining every decision, if you've started choosing peace over approval, keep going. Not everyone will understand your healing. They don't have to, because this journey was never about convincing other people. It was about coming home to yourself. And Every time you choose peace instead of people pleasing. Every time you stop apologizing for having boundaries. Every time you allow yourself to grow without asking for permission. You're becoming someone who no longer survives life. You're finally learning how to live it. Your healing doesn't need to make sense to everyone else. It only needs to feel true to you. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more calm self-improvement content, new video every day.